The wilderness was a harsh place. It was dry and desolate. The sun beat down mercilessly. Jesus went into the wilderness after his baptism. He was led there by the Spirit. He needed to be alone. He needed to pray. He needed to prepare for what was to come. The first temptation awaited. Jesus fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. He ate nothing. He only drank water. His body grew weak. His stomach growled with hunger, but his spirit remained strong. This was a time of testing for Jesus. Satan, the tempter, came to him. Satan wanted to break Jesus. He wanted to stop God's plan. After fasting for 40 days and 40 nights, Jesus was hungry. The wilderness was harsh, and the days were long. The sun beat down relentlessly, and the nights were cold and unforgiving. His body was weak, his stomach ached with hunger, and his throat was parched. Then Satan appeared and tempted Jesus, saying, "Turn these stones into bread." The temptation was strong, but Jesus knew that this was a test of his faith and reliance on God. He was so very hungry. His body cried out for sustenance, and the thought of warm, fresh bread was almost unbearable. Yet, in his heart, Jesus knew that there was more at stake than just his physical hunger. This was a spiritual battle, and he needed to stay strong. But Jesus would not give in. He remembered the words of the Scriptures and the teachings that had guided him throughout his life. He knew that succumbing to this temptation would mean turning away from his mission and the path that God had set for him. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. Matthew 4:4. His voice was firm and unwavering. He knew that true nourishment came from a higher source, from the words and wisdom of God. This was a lesson not just for him, but for all who would follow his teachings, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God. Jesus found strength in these words. They reminded him of the greater purpose he was serving and the divine plan that was unfolding. He knew that his faith and obedience would be rewarded. Jesus knew that God would provide. Even in the midst of his suffering, he felt a deep sense of peace and assurance. He trusted that God would sustain him and that his needs would be met in ways beyond his understanding. He trusted in God's plan. With each step he took in the wilderness, Jesus reaffirmed his commitment to his mission and his faith in God's provision. He knew that his journey was far from over, but he was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, with unwavering trust in his heart. The second temptation. In this chapter, we explore a pivotal moment of testing and faith. The devil took Jesus to Jerusalem, the holy city, a place of great significance and history. They stood on the highest point of the temple, a vantage point that offered a breathtaking view of the city below. "Throw yourself down," the devil challenged. He taunted Jesus, claiming that if he was truly the Son of God, angels would come to his rescue. But Jesus stood firm, unwavering in his faith. "Do not put the Lord your God to the test," he said. His voice was calm but resolute, echoing the wisdom of the Scriptures. Jesus would not use God for his own purposes. He understood that faith was not about testing God, but about trusting him completely. He trusted in God's timing. In that moment, Jesus demonstrated the true essence of faith, a leap not into the unknown, but into the certainty of God's love and plan. Third temptation, kingdoms and glory. In this chapter, we delve into the profound moment when Jesus was shown all the kingdoms of the world. Imagine standing on a high mountain, gazing at the vast landscapes, each kingdom more magnificent than the last. Satan showed Jesus all the kingdoms of the world, offering him unimaginable power and glory. The temptation was immense as the shadowy figure gestured towards the kingdoms, promising dominion over all. "I will give you all this," he promised, "if you will bow down and worship me." The allure of such power was undeniable, yet Jesus stood firm. "If you will bow down and worship me." What a temptation! But Jesus refused. He knew that true power and glory come from serving God alone. "Worship the Lord your God," he declared, and serve him only. Jesus would not compromise. His unwavering faith and dedication to God were evident in his response. He knew that only God deserves our worship. In this defining moment, Jesus set an example for all of us, showing that no earthly power or glory can compare to the divine. His resolve and commitment to God's will remain a powerful testament to his faith. If you found this journey inspiring, please share this video and subscribe to our channel for more uplifting content.